If you had the power to change the face of an entire nation, to influence people to do what you wanted, to take out people who you perceived as evil to society, if you could reduce what you define as crime by a factor of 80% worldwide, would you consider this ability a gift or a curse? If you had a death note, would you use it? The ability to strike off any name on earth.
Hey, wait up! Tackle, look out!
Would you do it? Or is the weight too much? Would you keep this ability, pass it on, or destroy it? Would you feel comfortable if the people elected you to have it, to monitor society? What differentiates that from the people in power initiating policies that affect and take lives? Direct or indirect, that's all irrelevant. Causation is enough. Do you belong to the Kantian school of thought that states in order to determine what's right, you need reason? But there's never an exception that permits the use of violating moral rules. Or do you subscribe to the utilitarian way, which focuses on consequences of an action to determine what is right and wrong as a standard, making intentions irrelevant? Actions that lead to results are measured in how beneficial said action is to society. The end goal is to achieve the greater good for the greater number. So which are you? But if you do choose to carry this burden, then you are Light Yagami, Kira, the villain or hero of the show, depending on what you define as justice. But if you oppose this because of your sense of right and wrong or your fear of the future it holds, then you are L, the antagonist. And these two characters that are different sides of the same coin battle in a way not normally seen. A dance of wits as they both try to outdo each other. And that's just one of the main attractions this story has to offer. Now let's say you answer the earlier questions as no, and jump 10 years ahead, where the notebook has been in use during this period. And you're about to apprehend the user. You're also fully aware in this world where 80% of crime has dropped. Wars have stopped. Countries are being lifted out of poverty. The people in power are for the people, and this is declared as the most peaceful time in human history. All because of this book. Let's say this is the case, and you're fully aware apprehending Light Yagami will lead to all this being undone. Would you do it? Would you undo all progress? Would you be willing to indirectly put blood on your hands for your code? If yes, does that make you the antagonist to society? You've just imposed your views of morality and interpretation of justice on everyone. An action that has dire consequences, the opposite of the greater good for the greater number. And those are the type of questions Death Note asks of its viewers and readers. It brings different schools of thoughts into play and probes you to reevaluate your mindset on what is right and wrong. It asks you from the very first episode a question and wants to know if your answer has changed over its runtime. It's not just one of the most thought-provoking anime shows. It's one of the most thought-provoking shows, period. So if you haven't watched it, I suggest you do, and then come back to this channel. There's a lot to talk about, and I have more to say.